Back on the camera for this one. I noticed a bit of desync when I was trying to film my tournament report of Camtasia, so I decided I'm going to stick with the camera for this particular video. Going to be updating Disaster Anime Dragons and Sino Dragons. I'll start off with my Sino Dragons. This is another, I'm not too sure what version I could call this. I don't want to call it like a fourth version or something, but I think it's like combining aspects of the second and third version, so you could say it's like, I don't know, a 2.5. I'll start once again with the extra deck, since it's focusing on cards in the extra deck. We've got this 2 Stardust, which is regular. No longer holds the title of dragon. I'm willing to run 2 of in the deck, since I am running 2 of another dragon as well, which is Red Dragon Archfiend. Although one of them is probably going to come out in favour of a Quasar Dragon when I can get a hold of that, because I now have a working strategy to get that out in this deck, provided Dandelion doesn't get banned. Black Winged Dragon, of course. Akiza Bomb, Black Rose Dragon. Ancient Fairy Dragon. Livestream and Power Tool Dragons. Of course, we got Shooting Star and Red Nova. I think I had the Majestics as well in this deck earlier. I'm not running those anymore because I needed to make room for other stuff. So I've just got those evolutionary forms. Formula Synchron, of course, needed to bring into Shooting Star and Shooting Quasar when I get it. A new addition, the Recipro Dragonfly. The reason why I've got this is because if I was to use the same strategy I used to summon out Shooting Star, but what I can do then is I can bring back the Glow Bulb, use it with one of the tokens that was summoned out, one of the second batch of tokens that was summoned out. I can go into this, and then I'll have, along with Stardust and Formula, I'll have 3 synchros. I'll have 3 synchros, one of which is a tuner, and they're all adding up to level 12. Another new recruit. Just got him in today, the Librarian. Indeed. Hooray. Got him in today. How much do these things go for? Isn't it like 30 or 40 bucks? I'm not too sure. But I got it for 20, so most of them I saw up for 30 or 40 bucks, so I decided that 20 was a good deal. So hooray. And last in the extra deck is an Android, because yeah, for the hell of it. Not running like the Raikos or anything like that, since I have a Twilight deck. The Raikos are obviously being focused into that because of their Light Swan sections. Alright, main deck. Debris Dragon, always running Debris Dragon. It's part of the backbone of the deck to summon out Shooting Star first turn. 2 Flamebell Magicians, part of the version 3 strategy, in which I used to combine these with the Flamebell Dogs. 2 Top Runners. If I had 2 Rose Warriors, I'd be putting them in here, but the Rose Warriors are part of my my take on legendary heroes, so I'm just going to stick with the Top Runners for now, since they're the best option at the moment. On Junk Synchron, which usually just goes into either Red Nova, or I can go into Librarian. I'd like to go to Librarian with this a bit more often. 2 Dark Tinkers. Reason I got these 2 is because I needed a couple level 2 tuners, and Plague Spreader is part of the zombie deck which I'm in the middle of building. The Dark Tinker helps out pretty well. Glow Bulb, of course, one of my favourite tuners. Spore, which is all blinged out now. I finally managed to get my hands on a super rare one. Don't know why it was a bit difficult. Veiler, it's a Veiler. Fader, to stop OTKs. Triple and Frog, to bring back for more Synchros fodder. 2 Quillbolts, which were around, I think I was only running 1 in the second version of it, but I definitely did have, I'm pretty sure I had at least 1 in the second version, but I'm going with these guys again because I know that they can be reliable. Dandelion, if this gets banned, this deck dies. Pretty much. Sweet Corn just is not a good enough replacement for Dandelion. Seriously. this guy has to stick around. If he gets banned, this deck's dead. Sanguine, general searching. People want that thing banned as well, they don't know why. 2 fire dogs, which work well with the magicians. 2 Goblinberg, which combine with the they combine with the level 3 tunes to go into the level 7s, combine with the level 1s to go into the level 5s, and can combine with the top runners to go into level 8. So it's not like it's a one-trick pony. Well, it technically is, but you've got a bunch of stuff that I couldn't go into with it. And Trag, just as something. Spells, same 3 equip spells: Double Tool, Megamorph, and Demotion. Stardust Shimmer to bring back Dragon Singers from the grave. Scarlet Security, I'm taking this in since I'm running 2 Red Dragon Archfiends at the moment, so throwing this in, if I can draw it with a Red Dragon Archfiend, I can obviously cause some havoc. 1 for 1, cause another section of the backbone of the deck. 1 Duality. If Duality gets like put to 1 or something, I'm not going to be affected too much by that. All I'd have to do is just take one of the Dualities out of my Disaster Anime Dragon deck, but that's about it. Rotar, since I've run enough targets to make it worthwhile. Storm, Dark Hole, Reborn, all staples. Well, they're not so much staples anymore. I mean, I've seen some people that don't run. I've seen one deck that doesn't run Dark Hole, but yeah, but Dark Hole's still a staple anyway. What the hell am I saying? Traps, Starlight Road, Zero Force. Of course, one of my favourite combos is to banish Shooting Star, negate an attack, then kick this thing off and drop everything, the attack of everything to 0. Dust Tornado, 2 Dust Tornadoes for the back row hate. And then I got Core, Torrential, Mirror. Pretty standard sort of trap fare there. So that's it for the Sino Dragon deck. This one doesn't have a side deck or anything like that, so we just get to skip straight on to the Disaster Anime Dragon deck. Hooray! And I forgot to sort the cards out. Hang on, I'll just pause for a sec. Okay, I'm set now. Poor planning. Alright, I'm set up with the deck. I got that now. This is the deck that I used a few weeks ago in my first ever tournament. So it hasn't changed. It's probably only maybe 1 card that's really been changed, but I think that's about it. So I'll just get on with the deck list then. 3 Darkness Metals. This thing's going to take a heavy hitting if this gets hit by the ban list. Hopefully that doesn't happen. It probably is. It's probably going to, since it came out as a common in the new structure deck. So like it's easier to access. 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, of course. Blah, bastard, bloody boss monster. Always good. Always good. 2 Wyverns. Not going to run the 3 this time around since I wanted to make room for other stuff. 2 Stones. Again, because I wanted to make room for other stuff. I think my last deck list I had 3. I'm not too sure. 1 Galaxy Eyes. I was running 2, but I decided to commit 1 towards my Photon deck, or it's probably more like a Kaito deck, themed deck, to be honest. But yeah, but I got the 1 Galaxy Eyes. The second Galaxy Eyes was replaced by this, the Light and Darkness Dragon, of course. Pretty good card. Works well, especially since I'm running the full playset of the totems. Bringing out Darkness Metal, bringing out Light and Darkness, Galaxy Eyes, blah 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 blah. Generic Searcher, Masked Dragon, run 3 of those, of course, always. 2 Delta Flyers, Resident Tuner. 1 Drago, just to keep the Light and Darks away. The other 2 are sided, so if I really need that sort of arsenal against some like Dark Wolves and Swarms and shit like that, I can just put those 2 in. And I got 1 Vice Dragon, because I kind of like Dark End Dragon, and Vice Dragon is just a quick way to get Dark End Dragon out when combined with Delta Flyers for the spells. Future Fusion, of course, people talking about that getting hit. If this gets hit, I lose probably 3 of my decks. Pray to God that it does not go. Dragon's Mirror. Most disaster decks don't run Dragon's Mirror because they need to have the monsters in the grave. Screw the rules. Like, screw that, seriously, I don't what I want. 2 Pots. If it gets hit to 1, it's not going to affect me too much, because then I can fit polymerization. I can fit a poly in there, so I can just add the 3 blue eyes straight to my hand with the poly, and then go into ultimate that way. Burial, anything that gets banished goes back to the deck, the graveyard, sorry. 2 MSTs for back row hate, and then Storm, Dark Hole, Reborn, standard spell fair. Traps. This is probably the most generic. It's probably one of the most generic trap lineups you're likely to see. 2 Deep Prison, 2 Bottomless, 2 Warning, 7 Tools, Torrential, Mirror. There is really nothing more that I need to say about the trap lineup. It's pretty generic. I could change it up a little bit, maybe throw in a Burst Breath or something like that, but I used a Burst Breath once and I kind of killed my own monsters, so yeah, not gonna go with the Burst Breath. Alright, extra deck. 5-headed, of course, Future Fusion target, Blue Eyes Ultimate. Like if pot goes to 1, I can just put the poly in, and then Blue Eyes Ultimate will be obviously have more than just will obviously be summonable. Trident Dragon, of course, my favourite dragon type synchro. It surpasses even Quasar amazingly. Trash, it's a trash. Double Stardusts, Dark and Light End Dragon. Can't go into Light End unless I bring something in from the side. Actually, hang on a sec. I don't even think I can summon Light End Dragon in this deck. Be able. Yeah. Well, if I'm gonna take a Red Dragon Archfiend out of the Sign of Dragon deck, it'll likely just go in here in place of the Light End Dragon. So, just that this is Red Dragon Archfiend. Completely disregard that it's light attribute and looks like a fairy sort of thingy. It's a Red Dragon Archfiend. So just yeah, Black Rose Dragon, of course, Ancient Fairy Dragon, Exploder Dragon Wing, Iron Chain, because I still have not got a bloody Orient Dragon yet. Branach, the only non-dragon type I'm willing to run. Can screw over my totem plays, but well, it's useful. I could have run this in Banner Sharks, but I didn't really want to. And then in the terms of Xyz, I got Leviathan and Thunder End Dragon. This deck does, however, have a side deck, and it is right here. I have Tiger Dragon, nukes 2 monsters, nukes 2 face down spells and traps, so it's a bit like Mobius, if you will. Prime Material Dragon, of course. If I was able to fit level 2 tuners into this side deck, then it would actually be worthwhile, because I'd be able to go into Light End Dragon. This dragon thingy, I'm not gonna read the whole name out of it. I mean, it's not like I have a problem with pronouncing it. I'm just not gonna read the name because it's way too freaking long. But you know what it does? Well, if you don't, it can be special summoned when a monster you control is destroyed in battle or by card effect. Just a bit of information for those who did not know. But yeah, Dark attribute as well, so it's good synchro fodder for Dark End. The 2 spare Dragos, which of course I alluded to. 3rd Wyvern, Exploder Dragon, just in case I need it. I would main it, but I just don't have any room. Twin-headed Behemoth. This is not a bad card. It comes back to the field after it gets destroyed with 1000 attack or defense. It only works once a duel, but this thing, it's not bad. Poly, which will be going into the main deck if, again, pot of duality gets put to 1. I'm probably just going to take a duality out anyway and just put the poly in there anyway. So, we'll see what happens. 2 Mind Crush. Of course, I'm not going to be using this in a deck against a deck that runs bloody Thingy. Of course, because it's totally called Thingy, it's Dark World. What the hell am I thinking? But yeah, it's not that bad. 2 Trap Stun, because it's there. Trap Stun's not that bad. Then we got Starlight Road. It's probably a bit more situational in this sort of deck, but like, I think it's a bit situational in general. Like, it's not the best thing to rely on. Like, but yeah, it's always good to have that there, even if it is in the side deck. And I've got Judgment because I've got the 2 warnings and the 7 tools, which are going to cough up 5,000 life points on just on their own. So it's not much. So I'll only I'll only put this Solemn in there in those really in games where I really believe that I need these. Like, if I know I'm going to be in a pretty desperate situation, I'll just put it in there. So, okay, that's it for those 2 decks. Hooray! Got them through in somewhat quick time. Yeah, so there we go. Of course, nothing. I don't have anything to bloody say, so I'm just gonna I'm just going to end the video with the random Black Skull Dragon just because I feel like it. Laters.